the live situation. Hold on. Rewind. Rewind selector! Yeah, so somebody asked what was the most difficult song on the album to write. I think it would either actually be "Look at the Sky" or maybe the very last song on the album called "Trying to Feel Alive" was also like really, really hard, because the final song on the album was written from this perspective of like, you know, having put this whole album together and struggling so much with the like sort of trying to find a meaning in all of it and finding a broader purpose in what I was doing and trying to like be better and be able to make music fluently again. And like the final song on the album, which is called "Trying to Feel Alive," is me like reckoning with like, have I actually gotten any better? Have I changed at all? And have I improved? It was the last song written for the album. So yeah, that's a little interesting context for that last song. Like, "Trying to Feel Alive" is really, really special to me because it was just like, there was so much kind of questioning everything that I had done, but ultimately with this resolution. And yeah, so like with the album coming out in 2 days, I'm just really excited to hear people's like impressions of listening through it for the first time in full. And like for people who have already heard the singles, like I know you'll be excited to hear the new stuff, but don't skip the singles. Like you have to listen through, I think, the full track list as intended. Yeah, it's a really interesting experience. It's been interesting for me showing it to people who haven't, like, who had heard the singles and hadn't heard the full album, and I've heard from many of them like, oh, this really comes alive in the full context of the record. How long did it take to finish "Trying to Feel Alive"? I actually don't know in terms of hours, but in terms of emotionally, it was the one where I was like, yeah, it was pretty excruciating. But I think the final result is really beautiful. I've never tried milk bread at Crema. Oh yeah, I'm seeing like "Goodbye to Our World" stuff.
You should play it.
Yeah, that's like the TikTok anthem, I guess. If you look at my sounds on TikTok, it's like 5 billion on "Goodbye to Our World" and like 3 on everything else. Yeah, shouts out James Agnew. Kodeko's joining in. Yeah, so, damn, somebody is baiting me. They said, play Aoi Shiori. Shit! Fuck! I've definitely played that before, but yeah, I had to like, I don't know, something about doing this on the stream, like it all goes away from me. Did my experience of putting together virtual self have any impact on Nurture? I would say yes, to the extent that like doing virtual self like was part of what I think unblocked me and allowed me to do Nurture in the first place. Like I needed to do something that wasn't under the Porter name that could help like alleviate some of that pressure, and that was instrumental. I think like doing something that had zero pressure and allowed me to explore a completely new influence really helped me put Nurture together. I can't play any of the Howl's Moving Castle music. Someone keeps asking. I've seen Howl's Moving Castle once. I saw it earlier this year. I loved it. Rika's like been making me watch every Ghibli film because like the Ghibli movies for me are that type of thing where it's like when you know you're gonna love something so much, it's kind of hard to motivate yourself to watch it. It's like when like 30 people have told you to watch something on Netflix, you're like, okay, like I'm gonna do it. That's actually like I'd seen Spirited Away and like Ponyo. But it's weird because like I do so much stuff in sort of like anime world, but I had seen very few Ghibli movies, and I've been watching them over the last year, and it slaps. Like I absolutely loved Howl's Moving Castle. It was one of my absolute favorite movies I think I've seen. And Rika and I, what was the other one we watched that's not actually Ghibli? Mary and the Witch's Flower.
Uh-huh.
That was really good too. I love that, and I love that they had the Sakai no Wai music at the end. That movie had a really good English dub. I felt we watched it, and I liked watching an anime that had like all British voices. It was kind of nice.
You can go to your anime.
Oh yeah, I could go to the anime questions. Favorite chordal extension? It's add 9. I don't know what any of the chords are called, but this is what I do. Wait, sorry, not that actually add the 9 in the thing. Favorite track from Nurture? I think it's probably. Hold on. but like I feel like so much of Nurture is kind of stuck in this anxiety and fear, and there's all these questions, and like so much of the album, and I love being in this place, but it's like sort of trying to take this like critical inner voice and this ideal self, and they're like in this kind of conflict, and it's those two things trying to work things out between each other. And then Musician, that song is just like, fuck all that. Like I'm just gonna make a great song that I love. And like something about Musician just has this energy that I really adore. It just makes me feel so good when I listen to it. And like when I did my final like sort of listen through on the album before sending it off, like that was the point where I cried listening to the album. Like Musician was the point where I totally broke down, and I was just like, fuck, like you did it. Yeah. It's my favorite song ever. 1,000 Years. Wait, maybe I can put that together for my Twilight heads. Does it start on C? Oh, I'm gonna play everything in C, but okay, I'm gonna see if I can piece this together. I played that with the Aoi Shiori progression. What chord progression is 1,000 Years? Fuck, I would need to hear it. My bad. But that was like a mashup between Anohana and here. I'll see this through. We'll do 1,000 Years X Anohana. That doesn't work. So that next chord in Aoi Shiori doesn't really. I did my best. Marion song on the piano? Oh, I would think it would have to be. Here, real heads know about this. The White Chick song, I mean, come on. Yeah, that's Beans. Beans by Beans. Key on piano? Okay, that's a good one. Where did you find the Q&A questions? I'll actually answer some questions now. Let's see. How has the experience of writing Nurture differed from writing Worlds? Worlds came together in this like burst of passion over the course of like 2 years, where I was like, I don't really want to be known for making club music anymore. I want to write this music that's introspective and beautiful, and it was just like, it just came to me so quickly, and Nurture was much more of a struggle. It was like a few years of figuring out what it needed to be, and then learning how to sing, and learning how to write lyrics, and learning how to... Dude, this filter is kind of killing me. What? Like, I look so crazy.
That was none.
That's none? That is not none. These all make me look like a brew. Okay, we'll go with none. What was that? What was I saying? Oh yeah, so like Nurture came together over the course of like 5 or 6 years, and I was just at a real low, and there was a point where I thought I wouldn't be able to make music anymore, but like Nurture is kind of like the process of me like taking it step by step and feeling like it was all worthwhile, and kind of convincing myself that reality is beautiful, and that that it's a good thing for the world that I make music and all these other things. Let's see. What is one note from an unreleased song on the new album? That's a great question. I got you. Hey, say less. That's from Mother. What plugin do you use the most? The piano. Someone asked, this is a good question, what's your favorite like aha moment when writing a track, like nailing the chord progression or finding that perfect lyric, nice drum groove? I think in these last couple of years it's been finding that perfect lyric, but I think like with creativity generally, like it always kind of has to be something new, I think. Like if I just like go back to the same old tricks, like if I know that I can write like a nice hook behind a piano chord progression, that's all day. Like I could do that anytime. But as soon as I like try to write something that's like that, I'm suddenly like I'm measuring myself up against like what I've done in the past. So it's like I have a certain expectation of, is this hook really good enough, or like is this piano progression good enough? Whereas if I like take a totally different approach and do something I've never done before, like I don't know, like trying to play the piano backwards, or like taking a vocal sample and stretching it out x 1,000, and like then when I'm doing stuff that I think won't lead to a productive result, in that moment I've like turned off that critical part of my brain. I'm no longer going like, this is a test of your abilities. Instead I'm just like messing around and having fun and like exploring. And that's the best place to be, is when you're like actually not trying to make something and you're just curious and you're just interested in what the next sound will be. And then like before you know it, you kind of have something, and then you're like, oh shit, I have to like turn this into a song now. And then it gets really hard. But yeah, that's my biggest piece of advice, is like, I often think it's like best to not try to sit down and write a track. It's often better just to like start messing around with some sounds until something pulls you away and you get lost in it. Because like if you're sitting down like, okay, time for me to write my first lyric and this is the opening chord of the song, suddenly you're in this place where it's like there's a lot of judgment there, and there's a lot of like self-criticism, and like you're sort of trying to like keep to a certain standard. So I always like to try to get into a place of just like pure exploration and playfulness. Favorite track from Spitfire? It's got to be 100% The Bitch. 100%. I think that's the best one on there.
I saw someone ask if you can play it.
How do you play 100%
I
The
know.
Bitch?
So I was wondering, actually, like, can you?
Okay. Let's see. It's like all percussion. Let me think. How would... I don't know. I think maybe I can play Spitfire. I literally haven't thought about that in like 5 years. There's like a glockenspiel melody too, right? It's like, maybe yeah, it's like. Oh shit! Hold on. Yeah, Spitfire. Wow, damn, that's a throwback. What is Madion's favorite song on Nurture? That's a really good question. You would have to ask him. I don't really know. Huh? What? If you could tell 2015, 2017 Porter what you know now, what would you say to him? This is an interesting question, because so like for those who don't know, 2015 to 2017 was when I was probably the most like creatively stuck and not really sure what the future of my music was going to be, and thinking about like, you know, like we worked on Shelter that year. Madion was sending me so much amazing unreleased music, and I was kind of sending nothing back. and that was the peak probably of when I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to continue doing this. And the thing is, like, I'm not sure that I would go back and change anything, because all of that led to this album. And I think like all of this music is really necessary, and it was necessary for me to go through all of that. It's like I definitely don't want artists to think that they have to like suffer, because I've made some of my best music when I was happiest. But at the same time, I think like going through all that stuff, it sort of forced me to have this reckoning with reality, and like find things to love, and find this like renewed appreciation for mindfulness and for existence generally. And like I talked about this several times now, but like sometimes I'll just be in awe of like the most minute thing. Like earlier today, this is such a caricaturesque thing, but I was like actually outside. I was just like taking out the trash, and I was like looking up at the sky. I was like looking at the cloud, and I was just staring at it. And I had like had a rough morning, and I was looking at it and thinking like, is anybody else looking at this right now? Like, am I the only one in the world that's gonna notice this beautiful cloud today? Or is there anyone in this radius that is also laying eyes on it? And this bird flew by, and it just kind of like, it was hovering, and then it was flapping its wings, and like I was just like, it had to do with other stuff, but I was just like weeping openly in my neighborhood this morning, just like looking at how beautiful reality can be. But it's not just like the beautiful things too. Like I really encourage everyone to like, if you can, I know this sounds so strange and it sounds kind of like tree huggery or whatever, but if you can, like go outside and try to find something that you think nobody else would notice. Like go find and really inspect something that like you think no one else will ever see, and just like kind of meditate on that. Think about like the fact that you're using your awareness to take this thing in, and look at how detailed it is, and how like it can really be like unbelievably beautiful to like take in reality fully sometimes. And it's so hard to describe too, because like you can't appreciate it until you actually go out and do it. And I got to this thing through meditation and mindfulness. But like sometimes I'll like just go outside, and I'll just like fully take something in and try to be as mindful as possible of all the details of just something that exists. And I'll just be like, I'll feel like I'm a kid again. That's the best way I can describe it. Like I'll feel like the same way I felt before like social media poisoned my brain. Like that's how it feels. It's like it feels like just being like a child again, and being on the soccer field or whatever, just like breathing the air. I don't know. It's something that I think has to be experienced. Yeah, highly recommend it. How am I feeling pre-release? I've been kind of a wreck for the past couple days. It's like, it's just I feel like the sad secret is that like, I think for me and for a lot of other musicians, the release days, like the days of actually releasing music, is not necessarily the fun part. It's like, it's kind of, I don't know, if you really care about it, like there's just like so much, like there's so many things to think about, and you sort of deal with people's first impressions of music, and it's always like the real reward, I feel like, is like down the line, when like people have learned to grow and love the songs, and you're playing them live, and like people are like screaming them back at you. It's like that's like the real magic. So I've been nervous, but I'm also just so excited. Like, I mean, I can't overstate how much it means to me, the fact that like, dude, I didn't know if I was going to be able to make a second album. Like, I genuinely was not sure if this was ever going to happen. And so like being able to actually truly release something, and like having this thing right here, like owning this and having it in my house, like, dude, hold on. Let me go grab this one. Look at this. Look at this shit. Oh my god. Like, this is real thing. It makes me just so happy to know that this exists. Like, So I'm definitely amped for people to hear it for sure, but I'm like nervous too, you know. That's how it kind of be. I'm also excited for people to like, if you did get one of the physical ones, to dive into the, to sort of dive into the like materials in there, like the booklet and stuff like that. All that stuff is super super cool. Wait, Rika, I might need your help on this one.
Oh my god.
Perfect. Sorry. Oh, I got fur on the sweater? Oh, damn. Good looks. Oh, shit. Hey, thank you. Thank you.
There you go. Put it back next one. So we can look at it. It's so good.
Good looks with that. Let's see.
I kept seeing people ask you to play language.
Oh, play language? Language. That was the first truly like, I feel like that was the first like true Porter song in a way. Like all the stuff is like valid, but like Language was like the first one that I think had that like kind of Porter feeling, you know what I mean? Still love that song. Can I play something with Blading? Get Your Wish. All right. What kind of piano is that? Okay, this is a really good question because this piano is actually like my childhood piano. That it's actually like my mom had it as a child, and then we had it in my house growing up. And there's like cute videos of me like sitting at the piano, same level of piano ability I have today, just being like.
It was my mom's 16th birthday present.
Oh, okay, yeah. Damn, you know the history. Yeah, it was my mom's 16th birthday present, and this piano was actually given away for a time, and then we got it back in the middle of making Nurture, and ended up using it a lot on the album. But I like the sound of it. I like the sound of it upright. It sounds intimate. It's not too like ostentatious, like a grand. I don't know. I love it. So yeah, Get Your Wish started on this piano. Someone was asking me to play that, so. Okay. Maybe Dumbo?
Yeah.
Girl, you knock me out. Like fuck. Girl, you knock me out. Fuck. Fuck. Wait, hold on. Girl, you knock me out. No, that's not it. It's like. This is it. This is the one. This is the run. That was it. That was totally it. Jeez Louise. That was kind of scary. I got it. Thank you. Of the singles, which is my fave? I think Musician. I also really love Get Your Wish. Am I watching any anime? Not at the moment. I was watching Wonder Egg Priority. I watched like the first 6 or 7 episodes and I was absolutely fucking loving that anime. And then I got super, super busy like with everything post the album. And so I had to do like several straight weeks of crunching, getting ready for everything Secret Sky, getting ready for like Nurture release. So I'm gonna pick that back up because that shit was really good. Oh, someone said ebb and flow. I mean, I can't not. And there's like the spoken part. I love playing that song so much. Like that's the thing that like my hands tend to go to when I'm sitting down at the piano. I'm actually really shocked I was making errors playing that. I think playing something about playing live on TikTok is getting in my head a little bit. But I freaking love that song so much. Sound for Lonely People. Wow. How did I start making music that I genuinely love? That's a really good question. I think the first thing that I made that I actually really thought was good came after about maybe 3 years of producing, but it was far and few between. And as time has gone by, I think that like the density of like incidents where I make songs that I actually think are really good has gone up, but just a little bit. But it's like, I think ultimately the main way to get to that place is by like figuring out what it is that you really love and cultivating love as much as possible, like listening to as many albums as you possibly can, and like just finding stuff to bring into your world that like you love so much that you want to like live it a little bit. But then you need to not get too close to that thing either. So that's where you sort of synthesize it with the other things, and you put it through your own filter. But I think the main way I've found that I've been able to like get myself excited is by like, yeah, cultivating a lot of love and like trying to almost like write a love letter through music to the thing that I think is so amazing, but like synthesize it with something else. see. Emulation Stargaze Shelter. I don't know if I know how to play that song. Sad Machine, that's an easy one. Avril. Please play Sad Machine. Fine, I got you. I got you. Don't worry. Hey, I'm looking out for you. This one's challenging. So if you're a beginner at piano, I personally wouldn't recommend trying to play Sad Machine. There have been a lot of cases where people's fingers got tied up into knots, had to do surgery to untangle. Just really, really complex. So. And here's the hard part. The funny thing is I still, like, when I play live, I still fuck up Sad Machine. It's like the simplest thing, and it, like, I'm just like, don't mess up. It's like 5 notes. Shouldn't do the octave, so. My favorite part of that song musically is the like. Rika's going like this. That's the move in a live show.
Someone said, can you talk about Mirror?
Can I talk about Mirror? That's a great question. So yeah, Mirror is a song for me that's kind of all about, like, it's about shame, and it's about how the fear of the things that other people might say about you can affect your own internal monologue. So Mirror is basically about how I kind of realized that, like, thinking about, like, you know, what's the worst thing a critic might say about the music I'm putting together, or what, like, you know that way that you sort of, like, filter yourself when you post something to social media, where you kind of, like, whatever it is that you're saying, you sort of drag proof it, or you, like, imagine, like, what's the worst thing, well, how could somebody take this wrong, or what's the worst thing somebody could say about this, and you make sure to omit those things. Well, like, that filter for me became heavily overtuned, I think, and I just, like, it really affected the way I was thinking. Like, I was really kind of thinking in tweets and stuff like that, and I was also, like, when I was making music, I was really thinking about, like, you know, what about this is kind of whack, or what about this is kind of uncool. And Mirror is all about this, like, sort of, like, breaking all that shit down and just being like, all that shame does is just makes you, like, smaller and smaller and smaller. And I wanted to just, like, I just wanted to, like, do my shit and, like, make the stuff that I thought was really cool and, like, be myself. And, you know, if people want to be down for it, then amazing, and if not, then whatever, because at least I did the thing that I valued. So it was like, Mirror was all about, like, it's like this argument with this internal voice. And so when the lyric is like, I know what you want from me, I know what you're thinking, that's, like, about sort of, like, feeling you can predict the negative things people will say about you, and, like, you feel like that protects you. You feel like it protects you to know what somebody might say about you that's kind of negative, because then you can change yourself in order to protect yourself from that. But I was like, actually, that's kind of really, really whack. Like, I would rather just, like, be myself than, like, live in fear of what people might say. So yeah, it's about shame, and it's about like a critical inner voice, and it's better to not live in fear of what people say, I think. Someone says, "Who's your waifu? Don't tell Rika." It is Rika, and she knows it.
That's a great answer.
She said, "Great answer." Let's see. Somebody said, "Play Mirror." Everything in C major, you know. Just like I was actually chopping up samples from another song. That's where that solo came from. Like I started a demo a couple weeks before Mirror, where that sound was kind of the hook. So I just chopped that up. So that like wasn't written to be played on piano. Speak on the album cover. Yeah. Oh wait, Rika, hold on, real quick. What's your favorite song on the album?
That's so hard. No.
I was gonna put the camera on her, but
That's really hard, but I always find myself really loving Doremi and Trying to Feel Alive.
Gotcha. So that's track 6 and 14. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and Trying to Feel Alive.
But it's really hard because it's all of them are so good.
I'm gonna grab the CD real quick.
I have a problem with hearing a song and being like, oh, this is my favorite one, and then listening to the next one and be like, wait, this one's my favorite one, and then listening to the next one after that and then saying like, wait, no, this one is my favorite. So it's really hard, but I will say those two.
Here's the CD. I wonder if I can like focus it. Nah? Okay. Too bad. This image exists in high quality on the internet. But yeah, speaking on the album cover, me and SBJ, like we had like a text thread going for all of Nurture where we would exchange influences and like send images back and forth, and like a lot of Nurture's art direction came from me, like just from my iPhone photos and this initial idea of the scribble and all this other stuff. So it'd be like sort of like my iPhone photos in like a black void with a white scribble or something like that. And for the album cover, I think we wanted to kind of break that formula a bit. And so we tried I think SBJ tried like 3,000 things for the album cover. And eventually we kept coming back to this photo. It felt like the most like earnest and sincere and vulnerable possible thing that we could make. It's just like face down, like embracing the ground. Like the whole idea behind Nurture, I think, is like this. It's like about this like sense of touch and intimacy with reality, and it's like this love letter to reality, I guess. So I felt like there was no better way to embrace real life than with this cover. But yeah, we tried so many things, and this kept calling to me. Yeah, and it's like we even tried like decorating this with like the scribbles and text and stuff, and it was just like, nah, it's like this is the image, and I just couldn't get away from it. And I also I think the other thing about it is like, to me, this image is kind of like, when you first see it, it's just like, whoa. Like I feel like this picture to me like gives me a visceral reaction where it's like, I can feel how that might feel. Would that be comfortable? Like, it's kind of weird and funny that he's face down. Like, I feel like the fact that it has this, like, to me, it creates this visceral reaction. And so, yeah, that's why I sort of got married to this particular cover. But, yeah. The biggest virtual self-influence was definitely Onoken. Onoken is a Japanese artist who was like made some of the first songs I ever loved. Like in 2002, 2003, I think was when he first started releasing these like Bimani inspired tracks. Yeah, definitely check out Onoken's music. Wow, Hear the Bells. I don't know if I can do that.
You can, I'm sure.
Let's give it a shot. I used to play it in Worlds Live, but I would always have to like teach myself before every show. Back to C major. So crazy for me. Hear the Bells is a wild throwback as well. Yeah, something about this TikTok stream, this is like my biggest piano struggle that I've had in ages. Like I'm going to play songs that I should know by heart, and I'm just like, I'm paralyzed. Maybe I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for watching, everyone, though.
Maybe you should show Mema.
Oh yeah, let's just show Mema just for good measure. This is my other cat, Mama. She's unusual, but she's a good cat. Nah, this is my Koneko pillow. Hold on, let me get you, Mama. Mama. Hi, sweet pea. Ew. She's like dead waiting right now.
Here she comes.
Everybody, meet Mema. Mema, you came from the garbage can. Mema, you live in a garbage can.
She's so tired. Mama, look at the camera.
Mema, look at the camera. All right. Bye, y'all. Thanks for watching, and take care.